Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Hi, Ryan, and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Shravan. We've got Taran here with us.
Hey, everyone.
And we have a very special guest. He's returning after a while. Like last time it was Terminator
Salvation, Dark Fate.
Dark Fate, yeah. Dark Fate. So, Brian Sherlock, welcome back.
Thank you.
I always introduce you as a celebrity because you're an author. So, how do you feel to be back after?
Happy to be back and all that. It's like lockdown. Boring as, so it's nice to do something different.
I think you were meant to return for Black Widow.
Yeah, but
that's been eternally delayed, so we don't know when that's if that's ever going to come out at this stage in the cinemas. So
I'm moving soon, so I probably won't be in the States when you do it.
Yeah, that's right. So we thought we always talk Marvel stuff anyway when we message each other. So I thought, you thought it would be good to come on for WandaVision. So spoiler alert, we're talking about WandaVision in this episode.
Really? Better watch it.
But before we get into that, I just want to talk about some of your projects because I was involved with, I can't say involved, I had a minor contribution to one of your publications.
Yeah, you were making sure the technology side of things was correct. So thank you again for that.
So that was Icarus Falling. Yes.
Yeah, so that was,
Is that a sequel to Angel Has Fallen, the Gerard Butler movie?
Nah, mate.
Unofficial sequel? Bad fiction?
So I was telling you about Vicious last time I was here. That's actually turned into Icarus Falling, but just in novella form. So again, I just started adding to it and just 100-page novella. And then trilogy-wise, I've got the 2 parts of my Every Drop of Chaos trilogy out. I just found a mistake in one of them today, so I got to re-upload the draft onto Amazon, which I'm looking forward to. And
so that's Chaos Surging,
and Chaos Marauding,
yeah.
And the third part's going to have chaos in it, but I'm not going to say what the whole thing is yet. But
yes,
yeah, this first draft is. I want to say it's nearly done, but I just keep getting sidetracked all the time. So hopefully before the end of the year.
And they're all available on Amazon, right?
Yes, yeah. So ebooks and Kindle, ebooks and paperbacks.
Cool. Yeah, I'll put the links to them in the description for this episode.
Thank you, sir.
I want to talk about Icarus quickly because the thing I like about your writing is you have a lot of diversity in your characters.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of writers, older writers, they don't really do it. So
the older generation, some of them did okay, others just didn't do it at all. So I don't want to be a part of that problem. I want to be part of the solution.
I guess to give the listeners an idea, there's the main character is like
ethnic wise, he's Scottish and what's the other word? Cypriot. So he's fusion and he's actually covered in head to toe in tattoos and resembles a demon. So looking at the setting London, just threw a lot in there because that's what London is, very diverse, just like Melbourne. Yeah, so it just comes down to wanting to, if there's a certain group that sort of interests me at the time, throw it in. It's no real, hard way to word it, I'd say, but just like it's something standing out to me, I might want to throw that in somewhere. And
very much looking forward to your future project. You're making a big move as well, so hopefully you can still do your work in terms of your writing.
Oh, yeah, it's like Kakadu, so we'll do some receptioning and then just break out the laptop when I'm not doing that.
All right, WandaVision. Finale just happened yesterday. I watched it yesterday. I think you watched it this morning.
I got home late and then I watched it. Yeah. So I'm a bit tired. I apologize.
And you managed to watch it yesterday as well, didn't you? Yeah.
Last night, then coming to America, but that's another conversation there. But
okay. You can give us a quick, I want to watch that. You can give us a quick review of that later. But I've got a bit of background. We can go through that and then we can jump into our thoughts and then we can do our full spoiler review of each episode and talk about Easter eggs and I've got Easter eggs galore. I've noted down a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of different things that are happening. References to comics, references to MCU, references to
Buffy.
References to sitcoms because there's a sitcom sort of thing happening in this series as well. Every episode is directed by a gentleman called Matt Shackman. Looked up what he's done in the past. So he's directed a lot of TV stuff. He directed a couple of episodes of Game of Thrones season 7.
Yeah, I think I remember that, yeah.
I think it was EastEnders or something, one of the episodes. Actually, I've got it here. Eastwatch and The Spoils of War.
Heard of The Spoils of War?
In season 7.
I don't remember the...
Yeah.
Oh, I remember some of the episodes. I've seen it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But season 7...
I'm sure they're good.
Not the
Is
bad
season
one, right?
7 the last season or season 8?
No, it's season 8.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Eight's the bad one,
season
right?
7's not that great either, so...
But I guess he did a decent job in this one. In terms of producers, obviously Kevin Feige is involved in this one. So anything with his... You can't have an MCU production without his name associated with it. So he's involved in all of them. On Disney Plus, so we're still doing non-spoilers at the moment. So if you want to watch this, the only way you can watch it is via Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Or Pirate Bay. It's always an option.
Yes. We seem to endorse that a lot. We've been talking about that a lot in our episodes lately.
I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying it's there.
Okay, it exists.
It exists,
It exists, yeah. All the cast is back. So Elizabeth Olsen is back as Wanda. Paul Bettany is back as Vision. Obviously, Vision died the last time we saw him, so there's some mysterious things happening with him. There's some new cast members that have joined. So Catherine Hahn, and we'll talk about each of these in spoilers. Randall Park. Kat Dennings is back from Thor. Randall Park was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, so both of them are back. There's one new character played by Tiona Paris.
Yep. Well,
Technically a returning character, but older.
Older version, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
From Captain Marvel. Monica
Captain Marvel.
Rambeau. Yeah.
And there's some... I would say there's one cameo, and we'll talk about
One cameo.
if that's even a cameo.
Oh, you mean the Doctor Strange cameo?
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, we're joking about that.
Yeah. No, we're just talking about Mephisto. It's okay.
Okay, we'll get into all of that because throughout this series, after every episode, I had a theory. None of them came true, pretty much.
I actually have a secret villain for the series.
Okay.
But I could say it in the spoilers. Secret villain. No one knows who this villain is except me. I've picked up on who it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's spoilers. It's spoilers.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come back to me. Yeah.
We'll talk about that. So I wanted to quickly touch on the comic book origins of Scarlet Witch and Vision. Which character do you think was first in comics, appeared first? They're surprisingly both pretty old characters.
Say Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch, but not by much. So she debuted in March 1964, and then Vision was only 4 years later, 1968.
Actually debuted as White Vision initially, and then he became the Vision we know afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He debuted in an Avengers comic, I'm pretty sure. Wanda's powers, I think we've seen almost all of them, because in this one
She basically just has every power.
pretty much. Yeah. And
She's one of those overpowered mutants.
Yes, because, she's got flight, apparently she has time manipulation. I don't think have we seen that?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think she's done much of that yet.
Reality manipulation, which is what this show's all about.
Telekinesis, telepathy.
Spell casting, able to sense magic, probability manipulation. So she can do a lot of
She just initially she only had probability manipulation when she first came into the comics, and then over time they just kept adding shit.
Yeah,
and then now she can do everything.
So who's that character in? Was it in Deadpool? How she's like just lucky?
That's Lucky. Yeah, Domino. Yeah,
Domino. Yeah, that's right. So this is a little bit different.
There's probability manipulation, so she can change the odds in her favor.
Vision. You want to say something about Vision?
Yeah. So initially, when he was in the comics, he was White Vision because they didn't want to spend extra money coloring him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's fun fact.
In terms of his abilities, I think we've basically seen most of his abilities as well. So he's got superhuman intelligence, strength and speed. He's got flight. He's got regeneration.
Phasing.
Yep, phasing. They call it holographic disguise in this as well.
Really?
So he can disguise himself as a human, which we see in this. And he's got technopathy, which is he can communicate with machines.
With technology. Yeah.
That's about those two. I did want to talk about
Monica Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau's character as well, but maybe we'll talk about it in
spoilers.
In spoilers, because people don't know about it. I've got some thoughts about that anyway, so we'll get into that once we talk about our thoughts on the overall series. In terms of development, so this was actually announced back in September 2018, before Endgame, so in between Endgame and Infinity War. So this was already sort of in the works back then. Kevin Feige, he actually mentioned that viewers would not need to be familiar with the MCU to watch this show.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I feel like
It's a blatant lie.
I feel like you wouldn't get past the first 2 episodes if you didn't know about the MCU.
Unless you like the Dick Van Dyke Show a lot. You can watch it without it. You just won't really understand what's going on.
I agree. The budget for each episode is about $25 million. So when you add it up, it's basically like a full budget film.
Full. Yeah, but it's longer than a movie if you add it all up as well.
It
So
is. In terms of runtime, it is.
Yeah.
We'll get on to what I thought the production values were. Similar to The Mandalorian?
yeah, production values are mostly good.
Okay.
Until they overstretch a little bit. But they're mostly good.
Yeah. I thought they were.
Yeah.
It's almost.
I think it was almost movie quality the whole way through until they overstretch.
Feige did rule out a second season, and so did the director. So they said they're not planning on a second season.
I'm hoping for most of these Marvel ones, it's just a one and done, unless they need to do one. We'll get to it, spoilers, but at the end of this, there's no real need for a second season.
There's going to, obviously there's
follow-up, but there's no need for a second season of WandaVision.
No, he said the sequel to this is the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
Matt Shackman, we've talked about. So other shows he's done is Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Fargo, and he's done episodes of The Great as well.
Never heard of that one.
Is that the one?
Stan, maybe?
It's on Stan or something? Yeah.
Yep.
With, what's his name? Bolt? Is that his name? Holt. Nicholas Holt.
Nicholas Holt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it about Hemingway? Is that the Hemingway one?
It's like a period thing. It's like Victorian era type thing.
The
Quick
Great.
Google.
It's a comedy drama series, and it does have Nicholas Holt. I think that's all we need to know about it.
And it's got that other
It's
lady.
got Elle Fanning. It is on Stan as well. I was correct.
I thought we'd get into positives and negatives before we jump into spoilers. We can start with your positives.
Positives. Oh, okay. There's a list. Definitely just takes you back. I mean, after a year of lockdown, we have not had a Marvel movie. So this really just was the Marvel junkies need. I thought movie quality, I just kept thinking back to the Netflix shows. I mean, they became real chore to watch.
Yeah, I didn't really
Like
watch
the
much of those.
Marvel Netflix shows. Yep.
Daredevil and
It's
Luke Cage. And
completely something different there.
Yeah.
But first couple of episodes were very slow to get into and all that. But then number 3, we get the momentum builds and the character growth for Wanda and Monica. I thought it was pretty well done in that regards. Agnes, we'll just leave Agnes for spoilers. Most of that for spoilers, and she was probably one of my favorite parts of the series.
Any other positives?
I love how we leave stuff for spoilers, which is like kind of a spoiler in itself. But to be honest, if you're listening to this, you probably watched it.
Watched it.
Yeah.
But, there might be people that are
on the fence with it.
on the fence. Yeah. I don't know. If you're an MCU fan, you've probably watched it.
Yeah. The thing is, you have to watch it if you follow the MCU, because there's plot points in this that will follow on. So unless you're one of those guys that just watches like maybe just the Avengers movies and you kind of follow the plot points from there, then maybe it's not for you. But if you watch every single Avengers movie, you need to watch this if you haven't watched it already.
I guess the only barrier, this is not a movie, so you can't just, watch at the cinema or something. You have to get this subscription service.
Yeah.
So that's sort of a barrier, maybe for some people.
Zach, I was sort of hesitant to get, because I thought my brother had the Disney Channel at the time. I thought just scab off with him, but then he says, no, I got rid of it because the kids were going crazy. So had to buy a year subscriction. I heard it was cheaper. So
you got in just in time because you got in before the price hike.
I did.
But there is also Pirate Bay, just putting that out there. It's good that it's connected to the MCU. It's the first actual TV show that we've had that's firmly connected to the MCU.
Well, there's been like
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that's
There's been lots of TV shows that was based in the MCU but aren't connected to the MCU.
Yeah.
They're not canon.
Agent Carter was more sort of...
Well, that was as close as we've gotten.
Yeah.
But this actually has characters from the big screen that have come back to the small screen. Agent Carter had one character that did that, and it was in like one episode. So,
and I guess Agent Carter herself.
Yes. Who is also followed up. But this definitely had the best production values out of all those TV shows, and it looks the best out of all of them until they overstretch. The emotional aspect of it is excellent, which is basically what carries the show all throughout. There isn't much lasers and fighting all throughout the show until the end.
I kind of like that, actually.
Yeah.
I think
But I think
didn't need it.
Yeah, I think people do watch the MCU for the action, and some of the action's really cool, but they also watch it for the story and the plot points that follow on and the emotional stuff. I think most people carry on because of that. And this follows that on well. Everyone does well in their roles, and all the characters are true to what you expect them to be. I think it's very well put together. Like Brian said, the first 2 episodes can be deemed slow, but it does pick up afterwards. And I think a big thing about this is expectations. Depending on what kind of expectations you're going with, it's going to change what you feel about the show. Don't expect lasers.
I think also because it is the first MCU property that we've had in almost 2 years.
Yeah. And I think initially they didn't want to put this out first. They'd want to put Falcon and the Winter Soldier out first, which I think is more of a MCU type
typical
TV show.
Yeah.
But because of COVID and scheduling and stuff like that, they couldn't put this. They had to put something out, and this was the one that finished before. So they had to put this out, which is a gamble because it isn't that typical MCU type show. But I think it pays off in a way that Falcon and the Winter Soldier probably won't pay off, but they're going to be people that enjoy that a lot more than they enjoy this. I haven't seen that show yet, but I think I know where it's going.
No one's seen it yet.
Yeah.
So, I agree with all of that. I think the biggest positive for the show is the character of Wanda and the relationship between Wanda and Vision. I think that's the
emotional core of it that carries it through.
Yeah, that's the biggest positive. The performances of Elizabeth Olsen and...
I think Paul Bettany's the best performance in this. Elizabeth Olsen's very good.
I thought so until the last episode. I think in the last episode, that's when Elizabeth Olsen was a standout.
She does very well. Yeah. They're both amazing.
But I agree. Paul Bettany, you see it because in his Vision, right? Vision's not an ultra-expressive character.
Yeah.
So in this, he gets to sort of experiment and show a bit more of his acting capabilities. Production values we've already talked about. One thing I'll say is it's very unique. They commit a lot to that sitcom thing, especially for the first 2 episodes. Yeah. They're ultra committed to it.
Yeah, first 3 actually. They're very committed.
Yeah. And in a way that can be a hindrance as well because it probably won't.
But once again, expectations. If you go in expecting MCU lasers, then it's not what you want. Yeah. But if you go in expecting that it'll be a sitcom, then you'll probably enjoy yourself.
And I like the way they did it because if you take the sitcom aspect out of this and you just did it as like an MCU story, if you did it like the last 2 episodes for the whole season,
it wouldn't be as good.
It wouldn't have been as good. Yeah. So I think that uniqueness was something really good for the show. In terms of negatives, I've got a couple. I think that I just mentioned that the sitcom trope, this is not particularly a negative for me, but it could be a negative for other people who couldn't get into the show because it was just completely a sitcom.
Yeah, but I think that, like I said, it's expectations. So if you went in with different expectations, then the first 2 episodes would definitely throw you off.
Personally, I didn't find it that funny. It's a sitcom, but I didn't think it was that funny.
I think that it is a satire on those kind of sitcoms.
Yeah, that's right.
So the jokes in there are the type of jokes that you would find in those old sitcoms, but they're not asking you to laugh at those jokes. They're laughing at the satire of those jokes. So it's like a double layer.
Obviously, you liked Monica Rambeau, so we could talk about this, but I don't know if she had to be in this show.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a way, she does feel like the little extra, but she doesn't need to be there, but they want to sort of establish this character and introduce Sword, so that's, again, why she's there. It's
more of an establishing character. Yeah. I think she has to be there in a certain sense, but to be part of Sword, to give you that standpoint.
Yeah.
But at the end of the show, she doesn't do anything.
Yeah. By the end of it,
yeah. But
it's like her origins. So
I think the character won't pay off in this show, but it'll pay off in maybe other shows or other movies. So it's an establishing character. If this character never comes back again, then it's a total waste. Yeah. But she will. She's confirmed to come back in other stuff, which we'll talk about.
So thinking back to Captain Marvel, where she's a child, and like when you see the adult version, they cast it very well because literally little Akira Akbar, she's not going to be able to play the adult, but then Teyonah Parris. I said that right,
Paris,
Yeah, she's like good casting, really good casting in that regard.
Towards the end of the series, some of the character motivations, some of the villainous characters, probably their motivations could have been etched out a bit better.
Oh, the motivations are pretty clear. Yeah. I mean, it's generic motivation.
That's right. There's not much
it's pretty clear.
One's just a dick, the other one's like she was more better.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, the generic motivation is definitely there. I didn't mind it. Where else would you go with it, really?
That's not the importance of the show. The show is meant to be about Wanda and her,
Yeah, and the secret villain, which I'll get to.
Did you have any particular negatives?
Negatives, well, as I said, it was a slow start, so I really hate Evan Peters. I can't stand it when he's acting, so yeah, so oh shit.
Evan Peters is in this.
Oh yeah, is that I guess
I don't know. Is anything a spoiler in this? I don't know. Yeah,
I guess a mild spoiler there.
Yeah, I think those are probably my biggest negatives. Again, we get a theory at the end of each episode didn't pan out at all.
But that's just us. I think that's just us expecting stuff, and I think if you didn't have high expectations of different things happening, it's still a very solid show.
The last episode, there's a bit of CGI that's not great. Yeah, the flying.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
I think there was one shot where I was like, what happened there?
It's the flying stuff mainly.
Yeah.
Fighting, flying, laser stuff. Other than that, everything looks amazing. It's just that. Yeah, everything else is pretty good. I think the last episode is going to be disappointing to many, but I don't think that's a fault of the show. But yeah, people are going to watch it and they're going to be disappointed. I'm sure of it.
Well, there was one article that wrote about Elizabeth Olsen saying something about like a massive cameo.
No, so it was Paul Bettany. Paul Bettany said
there was that one.
Yeah.
There was also one earlier.
No, so that massive cameo was Evan Peters that Elizabeth Olsen alluded to. Paul Bettany said that he really enjoyed working with a certain actor, and that was the cameo everyone was waiting for, which we do see that actor, but it's not what everyone was expecting.
It's not what people were expecting. Yeah. And also that Elizabeth Olsen, I think it was taken out of context because like people were reporting that it was a Luke Skywalker level cameo.
Yeah. No, but if you actually look at the interview,
she didn't say that.
No, they ask her if it's a Luke Skywalker level cameo or something. And
they didn't even ask her that. They said, is there any big cameos that you're looking forward to? And she said yes.
Yeah. And then they went over the top on that. We'll get to my secret villain in a sec. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We can give our ratings and we can jump into spoilers because people are probably here to listen to the spoilers. So we have a good or bad rating.
Okay, so it's no longer the Infinity Stone thing.
No. We
haven't done that in a while. Yeah, we'll do it when we get back to movies.
Maybe, we'll do it for movies. Yeah, obviously I'll give it a cognitive recalibration, which is good.
Okay.
And if it's bad, it's cognitive regression.
Okay.
So you don't have to follow our grading scale.
I'm still trying to figure that part out.
So you can give it score out of 10 or whatever you want.
That was an 8.5.
Correct. Yeah, it was good.
We'll jump to spoilers. So if you haven't seen WandaVision and you care about spoilers, please come back to this part after you've watched the show. So you've been warned. Okay, so we'll do this the way we always do these series. So we'll go through each episode. We'll skim through the ones.
There's some that we don't need to talk much about.
Yeah. So first episode, this is when they just move into – this literally just starts like a sitcom. Like there's no pretense at all. It's just like straight in as a sitcom. So it's a tribute to the Dick Van Dyke Show. And it's a typical sitcom sort of story of that era. With
misunderstandings.
The boss coming home for dinner and
Paul Bettany thinks he's going to get some action. No, does Paul Bettany think he's going to get
Wanda does.
Wanda thinks she's going to get some action. Yeah. So
and Wanda's not aware that it was so it's a typical thing. I guess at the end of the episode there's a bit of a reveal.
In a sitcom, someone's watching it on TV.
That's it. Towards the end of the episode as well, there's a part where the boss is like choking or something and she's and the wife is like, stop it. She says it like 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
So there's that
so
scene.
There's some weird stuff happening, but overall, nothing much.
And there's obviously these commercials that they've inserted into each of the episodes as well. So in the first one, it was a Stark Industries toaster, which makes the sound
of the arc reactor.
That and the beeping. Was the beeping in this one? The beeping was in this one, wasn't it?
Like the sound it makes when he like goes, pew. When he does his...
Yeah. But then there's... Before that, I think there was like a beeping sound, which is the beeping of the missile that lands in... as well. Easter eggs and trivia-wise. So Paul Bettany apparently was painted blue as opposed to his normal red because it worked better in black and white. The interior set for the house is inspired by the Dick Van Dyke Show. And the part where he trips over the ottoman, that's directly... You see it later in the show as well when she's watching that episode from the Dick Van Dyke Show. So it's directly from that. It's shot entirely in black and white, which we know, but there's one part where the the toaster, you see the red, which is not black and white. Anything else we want to say on episode 1? There was not much.
Not a lot.
So episode 1, each of these actually have a name as well. Filmed before a live studio audience is the name of the
Which
episode.
it actually was.
Was it actually?
Yeah, it actually was. Yeah.
Okay. With the laugh track and everything, right? Yeah.
No, they don't need the laugh track because they got the live audience.
Yeah, as in it's a real laugh track.
Yeah.
It's the audience full of old people who watch that sort of thing.
yeah. Second episode is called Don't Touch That Dial. And this is, again, continues. It's mostly in black and white until the end.
Was very Bewitched.
Yes.
This is Bewitched and what's the other one? I Dream of Jeannie.
The commercial in this one was a Strucker watch. Strucker being...
he was a Hydra.
Von Strucker.
scientist.
Yeah.
Who is the one that gives Wanda her powers.
Yeah.
That's
in
right.
Age of Ultron.
This is some comic book Easter eggs. So the stage name. So in this one, the episode's about
It's like he's doing like a magic show.
show type thing. It's for the children. That's why they're doing this show. It's weird that there's no children in this town as well. So the stage names for Vision and Wanda are Illusion and Glamour. And Illusion and Glamour were the stage names used by the stage magician couple who were the neighbors of Wanda and Vision in the comic Vision and the Scarlet Witch. So that's a callback to that. The animated title sequence, that actually has a whole bunch of Easter eggs. Like it's got 6 stars twinkling in a circle referring to the Infinity Stones. It's got a helmet of the Grim Reaper. It's got... There was a part where she goes shopping in the title sequence, and there's an advertisement for Bova milk. In the comics, Bova was the sentient cow who raised Wanda and her brother Pietro in their childhood.
Oh.
So there's
Fair enough.
weird and obscure callbacks in that title sequence. The entire set is designed to be similar to Bewitched. The Strucker watch is set to 242, and that is the Avengers comic issue 242, which had Vision appear in a newly repaired body. From that, I don't have too much. There's a sword logo that appears again in this. The trophy that Wanda and Vision received winning the inaugural comedy section of the talent competition is exactly the same trophy that Scott Lang received from his daughter titled World's Greatest Grandma. Agnes has a rabbit, and that rabbit in the comics is her son as well. Anything else we want to say about this episode? Because these two were really just...
They were slow. They didn't really contribute much to the overall plot. Just sort of help to establish where they are and just pay tribute to the old sitcoms.
And by the end of this episode, I guess it turns into color, and then I think you find out that Wanda is pregnant as well.
Yes.
All right, episode 3, Now in Color, is the name of the episode.
This was Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch, yes. Yep. Brady Bunch. Again, it follows the sitcom theme mostly through this episode until the end, where
it's just MCU.
Yeah, then it starts switching slightly into MCU mode. So Geraldine, who you find out later is Monica, she talks about, or she mentions Ultron out of nowhere and Pietro as well. And that's when Wanda also switches out of her persona, of her sitcom persona, and you find out what happens in the next episode to her. Was there anything in this episode apart from that?
Twins.
Yes, twins.
Yeah,
which is also from the comics.
Twins, I think that twins are probably one of my favorite parts of the whole thing.
Is Monica, is she aware of that she's in this situation, or is she under the spell as well in this episode?
At the beginning,
she is. Yep. She's still under the spell.
Until the very end.
Until the very end.
The doll Vision uses to practice diaper changes is a doll from the Brady Bunch. I never watched Brady Bunch, so I don't know.
I think I remember a doll in the Brady Bunch.
I think the Brady Bunch a bit before my time.
It used to come on TV.
Although I did used to watch Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie. So.
I don't know why we were... For some reason, they used to be on after school for us, I think.
Yeah, good times.
In the title sequence, pictures are presented in hexagons, and this was back when we were all like doing theories and stuff. So hexagons, we're talking about, hexes and powers and potentially Mephisto and things like that.
Yeah.
So none of that actually happened. The magic stuff obviously happened, but Mephisto hasn't featured in this at all.
They were alluding to the hex in Spider-Man at the end. There was like a scene where Fury's walking by a screen. There's hexagons on the screen, and they're already aware of this. Yeah, that's what I read somewhere. So
this is set between Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home. So Spider-Man Far From Home is meant to be in 2024. Endgame was in 2023, and this is 3 weeks after Endgame. Far From Home would have happened after this. after the events of this. First mention of Pietro in this episode for a while. And then in the final scene, the video aspect ratio. So till now it's been in 4:3. And then it changes to the normal
16:9.
Not exactly. I think it's like 2.35:1. It's like the rectangular shape. At the end of this episode, I thought Wanda is sort of the villain.
Yeah.
But not really. You find out at the end.
Yeah.
But I thought they were going to set her up as the villain of this series and the potentially a villain going forward in the MCU as well. But they don't do that.
I think it would be a bit of a mistake to actually do that. Like have a question, like a anti-heroine. But I don't think she'd work as a villain.
Yeah. Although in the comics she's done some
shit.
Yeah.
She's done villainous stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think she's ever been a villain. More like anti-hero.
Yeah, anti-heroine.
I guess. Yeah.
Episode 4. So this is when we click right back into MCU. So this episode was called We Interrupt This Program. And we essentially don't go into the sitcom world in this episode, I don't think. It's all in the outside world. And we find out a little bit about Monica Rambeau in this episode. I think the episode split into everything that happened before she goes in, essentially.
Yeah.
We start the episode with her
coming back from the blip.
That's right. Yeah. And we see that I think we see parts of that in in Endgame, I guess, and in also
and
in
Far From Home as well.
Yeah. But this
it's a bit more traumatic in this one for some reason. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She wakes up in a hospital. So
and then we hear what happened to Maria.
So Maria apparently died 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Which was 2 years after Monica disappeared.
It's also called the decimation, isn't it?
It's called a lot of things. It's called
it's called the snap as well. Yeah. It's never called the snap in the MCU though.
Yeah.
That's just fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the blip or the blip. I think the decimation is the snap and the blip is the 5-year period.
And this is when Hulk snaps. This particular one.
Yes.
When everyone comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're still fighting Thanos at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. They would have been. They would have been fighting Thanos.
Well, they just would have started fighting Thanos, actually.
Yeah. And this is 3 weeks after that. So that fight probably lasted.
It's very fresh. Yeah.
That day, right? So, There is a scene at the end of Endgame, though, where Wanda is speaking with
Clint.
Hawkeye.
Yeah. So I would say she went, that would have been like 2 weeks after maybe. And then like a week after she went to Sword.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that Clint wasn't in the WandaVision because that sort of felt like a build up to him doing a cameo or whatever.
They do. Yeah, like they have a bit of a relationship throughout their whole.
Maybe he's doing his own thing.
Yeah,
he's doing
his own show.
Hawkeye. So making his own show.
He's teaching Haley Seinfeld how to use arrows. Steinfeld, not Seinfeld. Is it Steinfeld or is it Seinfeld?
I think it's Steinfeld.
It's Steinfeld, yeah. Not Jerry Seinfeld. Although that would be good as well. Jerry Seinfeld getting taught by Hawkeye.
Oh, I got a joke for later. I'll tell you later.
I didn't really have many Easter eggs in this one apart from all the stuff around Monica. In the comics, she's Photon or Spectrum.
Yeah, she's got a couple of names.
Yeah.
She's also Captain Marvel as well.
She's also Captain Marvel.
I think they're building her up to be Photon.
Yeah.
Based off her powers.
And that was Maria's call sign when she was pilot, so I guess that would work all right.
In the comics, she gets her powers from an electromagnetic explosion, which is similar to what Carol, how Carol got her powers, I guess. Except hers is from an Infinity Stone. My question is, where did she get her powers from?
Monica. When she's passing through the barrier, because she wasn't originally in Westview when it went up. She went through and that sort of fucked around with her body and all that. Then she goes back out. When Wanda kicks her out, it starts really changing her body. So she's developing powers around energy.
Okay.
I think it's
or did she already have
dormant,
something?
It's dormant powers. This might not be true, but I think it's because she was around Captain Marvel and it's the dormant powers that came off her. And there's like hints in the show that Captain Marvel kind of gives off radiation, and that's what gave
Monica,
her mum, Maria. That's what gave Maria cancer, and that's why Monica doesn't like her. There's like hints in the show that Monica has some beef with Captain
there is,
Marvel.
Yeah.
There's something going on there.
Yeah.
It might be that, or it might just be that she did show up when, I don't know, when
her mother was
when
dying.
mother
But
was
she
dying.
did show up
Yeah.
when Thanos. Well,
Yeah.
well, she had to show up when Thanos was going to end
Yeah.
the world. So
Yeah, but I think her DNA is slightly altered in some way
Yeah.
because she's around Captain Marvel.
potentially,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
It's a good theory.
going through the hex kind of,
Kickstarted it.
like put those dormant powers into motion. But
It
that's
felt like
just
she
a
didn't
theory.
spend a whole lot of time with, unless Captain Marvel does come back to her.
Yeah, there could
Yeah.
be backstory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
it didn't seem like they spent a whole lot of time together.
Yeah.
After she got her powers. Anyway, that's interesting. We'll see what happens with that because
Yeah.
later in this series you find
They've
out
definitely has some more history with them because Monica is not on board with Captain Marvel at the moment. So something's happened.
There's beef.
Yeah.
and later in the show you find out that the Wanda also might have already had pre-existing powers.
Yes.
It's just that the Mind Stone amplified
them.
those powers
Yeah.
essentially. Maybe
So I think
her
it's
going
similar
through
to this. Yeah.
through the hex, maybe that
Yeah.
did a similar thing to her.
I think it's similar because the hex is made from Mind Stone powers.
Yeah.
So it's basically the Mind Stone kind of unlocking those powers.
That's all I had in terms of episode 4.
Yeah.
So episode 5, On a Very Special Episode is the name of the episode. This one is in the 80s, early 90s setting.
Full House.
I think so.
Yes. I read when they had that little opening credits thing.
Which one's this one?
This is I think the next one is Malcolm in the Middle, right?
Yeah.
What's
the Full
this? This is the one with Sparky, the dog, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Full House.
Yeah.
Full House.
It's Full
Okay.
House. Yeah.
I was
yeah.
reading at the credits they had the picnic scene, I think, and that's like they're just stealing it straight from her sister's show. So
Yeah, it's Full
Oh,
House.
yeah.
Yeah, because
it's her
Elizabeth
sister.
and
Yeah.
what's her name? Mary Kate and
And
Ashley.
Ashley,
Yeah.
Who played the same character.
yeah, they just tag teamed each other.
Yeah, because
okay. They switched.
because
yeah.
they started the show as babies. And fun fact, this is in Modern Family as well. Whenever they cast babies in TV shows, they cast twins because in case one of them's crying, then they could use the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they always cast
Who
twins.
did they use in Modern Family? Which
I know
character?
some random.
Oh, they
Lily is the baby,
yeah.
and
Okay,
I know
they
some
switched.
random baby
Yeah.
twins. Yeah,
They didn't like acting apparently, so they just got the
sorry,
yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, this episode it's just like a suburban story with so it switches back to that sitcom type thing again.
Just the kids growing up.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
the big reveal at the end of this one is Pietro.
It's Sparky's
Pietro.
dead.
Spike is dead. Yeah. And well, there's this whole talk that Wanda has with her kids how, she can't bring people, can't bring people back from the dead essentially. But then Pietro turns up, but it's not Aaron Taylor Johnson Pietro. It's
Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. Yeah.
They wanted to have some fun with sitcoms. They change actors, and some cases they don't actually explain why. That they've got a new actor, and they just
It's just the same character, but a different actor,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, they've done it in
Yeah.
lots of sitcoms
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
So they just want to play
In
around.
Modern Family as well, they changed the baby out to a different character. Happens in Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Fresh Prince is a
Big.
big one because Will Smith had beef with the character that was
Jenna
his
Hubert.
stepmom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she got kicked out and they hired someone else.
Turns out they made it, and they made up, so that's nice.
Aren't they doing a Fresh Prince
Reunion?
new thing?
They're doing a reboot.
Reboot, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not with Will Smith, right?
He's producing.
There is a commercial in this one. So this is the one about the paper towels.
Lagos
Yeah, Lagos.
Lagos, which is where she explodes the...
kills
In Civil
the
War.
Wakandans. This one, she Sword tries to get that drone into the hex, and
Oh,
right,
they
that's-
try to.
Oh,
attack-
yes, yes,
They
yeah.
try to attack her. Yeah.
Then she gets pissed off and just says, "Yeah, you got
Yeah.
one warning."
And she comes out in this one, doesn't
Yeah.
she? And this is the first one where you actually see the hex
Yeah,
in like the red force field that's around this town.
And the kids get aged up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get aged up because they want to keep Sparky, right? And then they just age themselves up.
No, they aged themselves up because they want a dog. Oh,
okay.
yeah. Like they want to keep Sparky.
They want
yeah,
to keep him.
Yeah.
And
Because they
stay
say
at
they're
this-
not old enough to have a dog yet.
That's right. Yeah, and they stay at that age. And then Vision is also starting to
You
figure
start to
out some
suspect
stuff.
something.
Yeah. Wanda's getting more carefree, especially around Agatha as well,
Oh,
because she starts like using her powers and stuff around people. So yeah, that's another thing. The next one was a Halloween episode. So,
That was the Malcolm in
Yeah.
the Middle one.
This is the Malcolm in the Middle one. Yeah.
So all new Halloween Spooktakular.
This was meant to come out around Halloween, so it would have made more sense back
Yeah.
then. But yeah, it's still.
All of
still
those
good.
shows did Halloween episodes. Anyway,
Exactly.
so,
Yeah. They all have like a Christmas episode, Halloween episode. Yeah.
Yep.
So this was a Malcolm in the Middle tribute.
Episode.
The commercial in this one was the claymation commercial with the Yo Magic.
Steal Your Magic, which
It didn't
makes
make-
sense at the end.
It didn't make much sense at the time, but obviously this is what Agatha would have been
Is trying to do. Well,
trying to do.
And the boys showed their own powers.
Yes.
Yes, in this one. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So one of them has Quicksilver powers and the other one has Wonder powers.
There is a reference to Kick-Ass in this episode, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But she, at one point, Evan Peters says kick ass.
Yeah.
And then in reference to something else. And then Elizabeth Olsen's like,
Kick-Ass.
kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is...
Aaron Taylor Johnson was kick ass.
Was
And
Kick-Ass.
Evan
And
Peters
was-
was in kick ass.
was in Kick-Ass. So,
Yeah.
He wasn't.
yeah, I think it was his friend or something, right? In Kick-Ass?
I need to Google that.
Yeah. He's his friend.
Does Kick-Ass exist in this? Maybe she's seen it. She's seen that movie. Does it exist in the MCU?
Well,
Star Wars exists in the MCU.
yeah.
I don't know if it exists. Maybe it's just a.
Because maybe
Okay,
she was
yeah.
like Kick-Ass, and it's like, this guy looks like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a throwaway line.
First episode in the show not to have a laugh track, this one.
Yeah, because Malcolm in the Middle did have a laugh track.
Billy's Halloween costume uses the same colors as his comic book counterpart Wiccan.
Yeah.
They all wear their comic accurate costumes.
Yes. His one also looks a little bit like Doctor Strange's
Yeah.
costume.
Wiccans?
Wiccans.
Yeah.
The theater in this episode is showing Incredibles and The Parent Trap. So,
And everyone went crazy when The Incredibles was on. It's like, oh, Fantastic Four's going to be in it. They're not in this.
oh, was that a theory? Because
Yes.
Incredibles is on that. Yeah.
yeah.
As is Disney saying, you want to be in, you want us to own you, you have to spirit cover Disney properties.
Yeah.
Parent Trap's about twins.
Yeah.
And
right.
they have twins. And Incredibles is about a
family,
superpowered family.
Yeah.
And they're a superpowered family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's the two connections.
Was it in this episode where she's like my astro engineer friend or
Yes.
Yeah. And then the theories start on that as well. Yep. Everyone's like, oh, it's going to be Reed Richards. It's going to be Don Cheadle's
It ended up
character.
being
No
a
one.
random person.
Yeah,
Like,
it's no one.
yeah. You don't even find out like
Yeah. I thought that was a real kick in the ass for that one.
It was like Captain Hardcore or something. What was it? Hardman? Captain. It was something. It was
some random person.
It was a name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else in this episode? We're sort of hitting endgame soon, so
Wanda was just picking up on fake Pietro, so
yes, yeah, because he says something. To her, doesn't he?
yeah, and then Wanda,
Wondered,
Vision broke through the hex.
That's right,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Wanda expands it.
Yeah,
And
and
Darcy gets caught up in it.
Darcy
I miss
gets-
Darcy. I love it.
Darcy and a lot of the other soldiers and stuff get caught up in it. 7th episode, breaking the fourth wall. So this is the Modern Family.
The Modern Family episode.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I guess it uses
The Office as well.
yeah tropes from like Office. And
Well,
that
Modern
sort of-
Family copied. Well, not copied, but it went off The Office basically. Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of shows like that, like Parks and Recreation.
Yeah. Opening credits music sounds a lot like The Office.
Yeah.
But the way the words are put in is like Modern Family.
Modern Family.
Like the title sequence.
Apparently, another series that it pays homage to is Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't really seen much of
I've
Arrested
seen a bit of it,
Development. Yeah.
but I wasn't getting that vibe. It's Arrested Development is more MA rated, so yeah, just didn't get that vibe.
It is the first episode in the show to contain a mid-credit scene, which we'll talk about.
And the last sitcom episode.
It is. Yeah, it is the last sitcom episode. The children's puppet show that Wanda sees on Agnes's TV is the children's show Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh, I took my niece to see that years ago.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I completely missed that one.
Because we were wondering what that
Yeah,
thought
I knew it was something, but I
Yeah.
couldn't remember what it was.
I thought it was, what's that other show? Teletubbies, but it's not. It's
It's not Teletubbies. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen Teletubbies, but it looks nothing
It's
like that.
the interviewer who speaks to Wanda, you find out is Catherine Hahn. They changed the pitch of her voice.
And it
Commercial.
was Agatha all along.
Yeah.
And it was Agatha all along. You find out at the end of this episode. The Nexus pharmaceutical ad in this
Nexus is like in the MCU, not MCU, in the Marvel universe. It's like the gateway between dimensions.
It's
like
that,
the gateway between multiverses. Yeah.
It's that, and apparently Nexus beings are individual entities unique to all multiverse and can affect probability and thus the future. So Wanda is a Nexus being. There's some dialogues from Captain Marvel when Monica Rambeau.
That's when she goes through again, and
the hex.
that's
again.
when the powers start to show.
Yeah, that's it. And at the end of this episode, you find out that it was Agatha all along.
Good music number.
It
I
was.
like that. Yeah, I like that music number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
We've got it on our screen just behind us.
Click play.
And I killed Sparky too.
That's it. Yeah.
That was good.
So, you find out that Agnes was Agatha Harkness, essentially.
I mean, from the beginning, Agnes has got some shit going on, but then, I don't know, I just felt that traditionally she's an older woman. I just felt the casting was
in the comics she is much older.
Yeah, she's full on crone.
Well, she is old in this as well.
She just doesn't look old.
Yeah. This is the one internet theory that was actually correct. The one theory that people got right.
It was also the most obvious thing to
obvious
happen.
theory. Yeah.
Like everyone saw it coming. Anyone who knew about the comics, I guess, saw it coming. And they wouldn't cast a big actress like Katherine Hahn for just a minor role like that. We had we were talking about other theories about the character Dottie as well.
Yes.
But
they didn't.
She just ended up being just another character.
I was just thinking they got Emma Caulfield to play her, and I thought she was young Kate in Buffy, and I thought that's pretty significant casting. But then you realise, she's worked with Jack Schaefer, who created the show. Yeah. So I think it just had a professional connection. Say you want to have a little bit in Marvel.
She just ends up being just a random in the town. She
Agatha.
walks into the basement, and there's stuff in the basement.
Witchcraft and all that.
There's that book,
The Darkhold.
Yeah.
And ruins
which is a kind of we haven't really in the MCU we haven't seen this kind of magic, which it's kind of different to the Doctor Strange magic that you see as well.
Yeah,
they had a Darkhold in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
and
not canon. It looked different, but the Darkhold can change how it looks as well. So maybe it's the same one, but.
Apparently it was in Runaways as well. That show,
which is also not canon. It's different kinds of magic to Doctor Strange's magic, but also Doctor Strange probably knows this kind of magic as well.
So there's this kind of magic, like the Agatha type magic. There's Loki. He does magic.
Yeah, he does magic.
Different kinds.
And then there's Doctor Strange magic.
There's obviously different kinds of magic in the world.
Doctor Strange and Wanda use the same type, but then Loki as Guardian.
I think I would assume Doctor Strange knows all the types of magic, like he can do all of it because he's the Sorcerer Supreme, and then everyone else has their own niches that they can do. So I would think that Doctor Strange could do the Loki kind of magic if he wanted to as well.
Well, he does put Loki into that.
The never-ending vortex.
Yeah. So he's obviously more powerful than Loki.
But later in the show, it's revealed that Wanda is more powerful
than the Sorcerer Supreme.
Obviously untrained.
The
but
Scarlet Witch is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme.
Which is in the next episode, which is probably where we could talk about this the most.
Episode 8 is called Previously On. I think it's aptly titled because it basically goes back and it is a bit
Christmas
of an
Carol.
It's an exposition episode.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wasn't the greatest fan of it.
I thought it was good because of the writing. So there's particular segments in this episode where Wanda speaks with Vision. There's that one episode. I think it's probably in... there's that one segment which is probably in Civil War. At some stage in Civil War. I thought that was really well written.
It's not in Civil War, that part.
No.
It's based around that time.
Around that time, yeah.
They showed Agnes's origin.
Agnes's origin at the start. So that was...
They changed it from the comics, but yes. Yeah.
So for those who do people that do like MCU timelines and they like try to watch everything in order and stuff like that.
Possible, but
this is
you would have to watch this. You'd have to watch that one scene first, and then you would have to stop, and then you go back to Captain America.
Yeah. Is there parts of Thor would be probably earlier than this?
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to really break it up, don't you?
Yeah.
That would be the shittest way to watch the MCU. Please don't watch the MCU like that.
Yeah, this is very
because
early
it wouldn't make sense. You would watch one scene of Agatha Harkness getting her powers, and then you would go to Thor's dad battling like
Dark Elves or some shit.
Yeah.
So when I first saw it, I was like, obviously Salem
Yeah.
witch
Salem
trials
witch
around
trials.
that. But
Yeah.
it's not actually that. It's everyone there was actually a witch.
They're all
Yeah.
witches. It's still a witch trial.
Agatha was up to no
Sure.
good, apparently. She
Dark
was
magic.
using dark magic and stuff, which is forbidden. And they were, I think what they were doing was taking her powers away from her. Like
Yeah.
she ends up taking their powers.
She steals
Yeah.
their powers.
And this is where the Wizard of Oz references start to show up because her mother's name was Evanora.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was one of the names for the Wicked Witch of the West, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another reference
Yeah, in the
later
last
on
episode.
as well. Yeah.
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 Next episode.
So you get that little bit of backstory for Agatha.
Pretty good considering one of my rules, one thing I like to see with Immortals, you have to show something from the past for it to actually really counts.
So that was good. You get,
Yeah.
you get a little bit of, and you find out that she's very, very old, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you jump into Wanda's past. So you take a trip through her childhood and then what she's been through throughout the years. You see her when she's a kid, and she's obviously a big fan of sitcoms because
Yeah.
her father used to sell them, I think. in
Yeah, I read-
Segovia.
I read that was a theory someone brought up, so I think,
That was also a theory that,
Yeah.
ended up paying off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a theory that everyone wanted, but yeah.
So she was fully into sitcoms, and you see all the different series that were referenced in this show when he opens the box. There's like Malcolm in the Middle. Because I was thinking, when was that? And then I look back, and she's like our age, essentially. So I think she was born in 1989.
Yeah, and like we were year 7 when Malcolm in the Middle came out.
So and she looked about 12, I guess. Yeah. So that sort of made sense. Maybe season 1 of Malcolm in the Middle. So yeah, I guess it sort of lined up in terms of the timelines. Then you find out that this is when you find out that she potentially had powers already.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone basically amplified her powers. It wasn't just the Mind Stone that gave her the powers that she has. Does that mean Quicksilver just purely Mind Stone, or was he also?
It's possible.
Not sure. That's like a grey area.
So she just gets bigger powers because of the Mind Stone, and maybe that's also why she survived those experiments.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else probably, I think they say everyone
maybe.
else died.
Yeah, maybe Quicksilver had his powers beforehand as well.
Yeah.
And it just unlocked them.
And it's revealed that she used a probability hex to stop that Stark missile from detonating. And after that, after that childhood episode, they go to the experimentation phase.
Oh, they start being activists and all that. Then Hydra steps in.
Also, with the Stark missile, it makes sense because a lot of people thought it was a plot hole that the Stark missile didn't blow up, because Stark missiles work. They always work. Yeah. So people are like, why didn't it blow up? So now it makes sense.
And when she does get experimented on, there's a short sequence where you see a silhouette of the Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
And then after that, you go to that scene I was talking about earlier with Vision, which I thought it could have just been like any other scene, right? Because this whole thing's a bit of an exposition episode, but I thought it was pretty well written, that particular scene. And then we move to what we actually want to know, or what Agatha actually wanted to know as well, was what happened before Westview, essentially. So when she went to the sword facility, and Hayward, we haven't talked about this guy, but he is...
Dick.
Yeah. So he's basically one of the other villains in this show. This was what I was talking about in terms of motivations, because he has what is his motivation really?
He wants to get Vision.
He wants a sentient weapon.
Yes.
That's
that he can control.
For what?
Yeah.
Well, if he's got a sentient weapon that he can control, he can get them to do operations for him.
Evil operations?
It's
Or
like the generic super villain motivation.
Well, he says his motivation at one point. He's like, if I'm the one to bring back Vision, then they'll hail me as a hero and I'll get a promotion or whatever. Yeah.
Anyway, he doesn't prevail. So what happens is he tells everyone that Wanda stole Vision's body, but that wasn't the case. She didn't actually steal it. She saw it being dismantled essentially by Hayward's team members. But then she just leaves and she goes to Westview, where Vision apparently bought a plot of land, for them to settle down in. When they first did this thing with Wanda and Vision, it was just like a really weird dynamic. Like he's like an android and she's like human, and it was just weird. Yeah. But this whole show made it, you never question that. Vision's actually a character in this as well. Yeah. So I thought that was really good. And obviously you see what happens when she explodes literally and forms this altered dimension around Westview. You get all the answers in this episode. You get a couple of questions as well, I guess, because she says at the end of the episode, she says, "You are the Scarlet Witch," and we've always called her Scarlet Witch.
That's when it's
Apparently that's an actual title. Like it's like a Sorcerer Supreme. There's a Scarlet Witch. That's an actual thing.
From my knowledge, I don't think that's how it is in the comics, but it seems like it's almost like a Dark Phoenix type thing in this in this show, in this universe. And it's not a bad thing because I don't think they should do Dark Phoenix again for the mutants.
No.
So maybe they could do Dark Phoenix as Scarlet Witch as Dark Phoenix instead of,
And the other thing is, this is sort of a retconning thing that they're doing, because when they did Age of Ultron and when they initially introduced the twins, Wanda and Quicksilver, they couldn't use the word mutants.
Yeah.
And they couldn't reference them as having powers by birth, essentially. It's not a mutation. It's something that they've acquired. But I think since they have Fox now, they can do mutants. Yeah. So they're doing a slight retcon saying that she already had powers, because that will open the door to other mutants already having powers, being born with powers. So we'll see where that leads. Maybe the blip or whatever also caused them to bring out powers and things like that. So there's a lot of things they can do to get the mutants in. Depends which ones they do.
There's some that you'd probably you wouldn't just snap Xavier or Mystique straight. You want that history for them.
We'll have to see what they do. We can talk about what they might do in the future after we finish the finale episode. Is anything else in this episode that was...
Agatha just says Scarlet Witch then.
Yeah,
next episode.
That's it. Series finale. So the series finale is called the series finale, episode 9. Interesting that it's called the series finale and not the season finale. So,
I guess that's them just being more... They don't want another
definitive
season.
end.
Yeah.
And also debunks that secret 10th episode that people wanted as well.
Yes.
There's so many theories. Yeah. There's so many kind of... Yeah. This will come back to my secret villain at the end as well.
Okay.
Right,
yeah.
Will we get that reveal soon, like in this episode or after this episode?
I'll tell you at the end of this episode.
Give him time.
Yeah.
We're all waiting for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this episode, we snap straight into the action. So it basically goes back to the point where the previous episode ended. This episode is just like the climax of a movie, essentially. So it's like fights, lasers.
Wanda throws a car, so yes, it would.
Yes.
I think the fight between Wanda and Agatha is not great, but the fight between Vision, not the fight, but the Vision. We forgot to talk about the Vision.
Yes,
yeah.
Vision.
Well, he put, what's his name? Hayward puts together Vision and it becomes White Vision.
So he uses the drone that he sent in earlier, in one of the earlier episodes. So that still has some residual energy.
Residual energy. Yeah. So it's basically confirmed in this that Scarlet Witch has a part of the Soul Stone. No, sorry, the Mind Stone in her. Yeah. So all her powers kind of have a bit of the Mind Stone in it. So when Hayward gets that drone or whatever with a bit of her powers in it, he can put that part of the Mind Stone powers into the Vision's body and kind of power it.
That's
and he gets like a sentient Vision being that he sends in to try and kill Scarlet Witch and kill Vision. Yeah. So then Scarlet Witch and Vision fight Agatha and other Vision.
The other Vision. But so Agatha, she didn't know about this other Vision.
No. That's just that's just a side plot that happened. Yeah.
And she's like, okay with it.
She just goes with it. Yeah. When you're that old, you just go with the punches.
I thought this would be like a 3-pronged fight situation because the two
also Hayward,
the two that you've mentioned, but then Quicksilver is with Monica as well.
Oh yeah. But you find out he's actually Ralph Boner. Ralph Boner.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah,
which is the Ralph that Agatha keeps talking about as her husband throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
but she's been controlling him with that necklace.
Yes, yeah. So he's pretty useless.
So they've just completely trolled us.
I think it's a complete troll.
They've done pretty well because they've got us, but
it's not. He hasn't been pulled through another dimension or anything. He's just a guy that happens to look like the Quicksilver in the other universe.
Yeah,
it's a complete coincidence, I guess. His name's Ralph Boner,
and he was being controlled by Agatha. The whole time. Yeah, so she would have given him those.
She imbued him with those powers. I don't know if he still has those powers or if he doesn't. It's not really clear. I would think he's just never going to come back with the powers. Like, I don't see him becoming Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd be
Hopefully he
happy
does.
with that.
I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, he just ends up being just a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Rey.
What?
Rey in Star Wars.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
well, she was initially just a guy and then she wasn't, but people hated that.
Yeah, funny that you link.
Linking,
At least he's not the main character in this.
No,
Yeah.
no, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I didn't like Agatha and
Wanda.
Wanda's fight is basically like she's trying to steal her energy.
So was this the part you were saying they overreached? In terms
Yeah,
of the
when they're
visuals?
flying in the air.
There
Yeah.
was one shot.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. It was the part where she gets the car and she hits Agatha with it, and you see the shoes, which is the reference to Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
That shot, it was just very quick. I didn't actually see what happened. You see the car in the air, and then you see the car.
That's
in
what
the
Wanda
house.
does. She just throws cars at people that she doesn't like.
Yeah. I didn't particularly hate that part. I think it's more right at the end when they're just in the air throwing
Yeah, that was like
balls at each other.
that was.
But it's very
You get movies with that level of CGI too.
yeah, but MCU is generally better than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That level of that's like a Fantastic Four, Fan Four stick level CGI. It wasn't great. It wasn't
like-
the worst.
It wasn't, yeah.
But it's not the same standard that the rest of the show was.
And you see Wanda in the Scarlet Witch
Yeah, which looks great.
Yeah, that's cool.
costume. Yeah,
She was actually back in the original costume because of the cleavage. Like, I think she got what she wanted now. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks great.
Yeah.
The new costume looks good. Like
Yeah.
a combination of her original and a few new parts. I thought the final battle would be a whole I have too much power. I can't handle the power. There's too much power situation.
Oh,
Do you know
yeah.
how when villains are like, they want all the power,
but they
can't handle it?
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be that. I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
Because I hate that trope.
So this was because I was still thinking about cameos and stuff. Right?
Yeah.
So there was a point where it looked a bit hopeless because there was like the soldiers, there was Agatha, there was Vision. I was like, is someone going to turn up now? They didn't need to, but
That's the thing. If you put someone in at that point, it's pretty.
well, it's taking the power away from like Wanda is the main character, in this, right?
Yeah.
So it would kind of take
it takes away from the show,
Yeah.
and also it's not necessary, and
Yeah.
it would just divert from everything that the show was
That's
trying
right.
to build
Yeah,
up.
I mean, it's
She's-
like
She's one of the strongest Avengers. So
exactly.
it'll
So if
really
you
go
know
against
Captain
that.
Marvel or like Doctor Strange or someone
Yeah.
just turned up,
It would just divert from the rest of the show. Same with if they inserted a villain in this last episode, there actually isn't enough time to insert a new villain and make a relevant plot point to why the villain is doing what he's doing and fit it in the 50 minutes that was allocated to this episode.
Yeah.
There's not enough time to do it.
No.
If they did it, it would be very shoehorned and people wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah.
yeah. So I think I like the way they've done it. I can see people being disappointed.
People were disappointed because there was theories about whatnot that should have been in the show, but yeah. Oh, the cameo that Paul Bettany was talking about was himself.
That's right. Yeah.
He acted with
He
himself.
was also trolling everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually came out this week and said it was himself because he didn't expect everyone to go crazy with all the theories. He's like, guys, it was actually me. Don't expect anyone else. It's just me.
I guess we should talk about that exchange. So
That was a good exchange.
Fake Vision. So fake Vision is the Vision that we've seen throughout this series, and then actual Vision.
Yeah. So there's actually explanation for it. Fake Vision is said to be the physical embodiment of Vision with the memories and everything else.
Yeah.
And then, no, sorry, other way around. The fake Vision is the Vision in Westview, or fake Vision's the Vision outside?
Fake Vision is the Vision in Westview.
Yeah, so fake Vision is the soul of Vision, and then the other Vision is
the body.
And the mechanics of it.
Yeah. So they have a bit of an exchange. They fight, but then Vision's a
the Vision outside wants to kill Vision.
Yeah. Vision outside wants to kill Vision, but then they have a bit of a
The fake Vision's like, whose Vision? Am I Vision or are you Vision?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about boats for a little bit.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And then that sort of convinces
And then
real
the other
Vision. Yeah.
the other Vision's like, I'm Vision, and he bails. I'm the Vision. Laters.
Well, does it give him all the memories or something?
He gives him the memories. So the fake Vision is part of the Mind Stone. So he's the part of the Mind Stone that lives inside Wanda. So he uses the Mind Stone powers to give back the memories of previous vision, but there's still no soul in that vision.
Yeah.
So there's no emotion.
Yeah.
So he just goes, yeah, I'm vision, and
he
he bails.
He just bails and he doesn't come back.
But he definitely will at some
Yeah,
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think Paul Bettany's probably happy because he's got employment for another,
Yeah.
at least another movie or a series.
At least one more movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I enjoyed that part.
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
good.
that part was good.
Yeah.
I think all the parts with Vision are good in
Yeah.
this. Paul Bettany did a good job. Okay, so there's a bit of a fight. So Hayward ends up getting in.
Yeah.
So what happens is Wanda finds out that she's basically been traumatizing everyone in this town, and she's, I've probably got to stop doing
Yeah.
this. So she opens the force field momentarily, but then she realizes that if she does that, she's going to lose her kids and Vision. So she stops again, but in that gap, Hayward's team goes in, and Hayward, I don't know this guy. Like this guy, he just shoots. I don't know. Okay, the kids are not real, but you can't just shoot kids. He just outright shoots them.
Yeah.
Bad bloke. Bad bloke Hayward.
But Monica comes just in time, and you finally see her full powers. I guess she blocks bullets.
She could, her powers would be she could alter kinetic energy of objects, and she could phase through objects.
Yeah, a couple of others in the comics. So
Yeah.
she fly, super strength, I think.
And she's also got that thing where she can see.
Yeah, she can see energy.
She can see energy. Yeah.
Wiccan, it's Wiccan, right? Yeah, he
Wiccan,
stops
yep.
the bullet as well.
Who's basically like mini Wanda.
Then you get the climax that you're talking about. So she has the what are they called? The runes.
The runes, yeah.
The runes. So once you're in
A witch.
witch's runes,
If the witch casts a ruin, she can be anyone who can use magic within those ruins.
yeah.
I was glad they used that instead of I have too much power and I can't handle it.
So she gets all the power back. She becomes Scarlet Witch. Agatha is just Agatha now.
She turns into Agnes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gets turned into
So
Agnes,
it's good they did kill her off. So there's an opportunity for her to
Mephisto.
come back at some point. She's Mephisto.
Yeah, Mephisto asks, she works with Mephisto or something like that.
Okay, no, but there's a chance she could come back in some capacity in the future.
The rabbit. Shares the name with her son in the comics. So I'm thinking maybe that he's actually a human. He's sort of ace up the slave, sort of.
Oh, yeah, because I guess the rabbit's still around somewhere.
Yeah.
So maybe the rabbit comes out and
Eating birds.
Yes.
Yeah. The rabbit could do something, but I think she'll definitely come back
Yeah.
she will.
at some point in the future.
The critics love this, being they're not going to put her aside.
Even opportunity for her to come back in as a anti-hero good guy.
Because they Wanda and Agatha had a mentor relationship.
If there's a greater evil, I guess, I could see her being good. Kind of like a Loki situation.
She has similar dynamic, I guess, to Loki.
She could definitely fill that kind of void.
You get a very emotional climax to the episode with the hex slowly contracting and coming towards Wanda and Vision's house. So the rest of the town is going back to normal. She says goodbye to her kids.
And there's actually an important part here. She says, "Thank you for choosing me
to be your mother."
Which makes it sound like they had a choice in the matter to come in. So they are probably real souls somewhere, and they chose to be her children. So they exist somewhere
else.
They're real. Yeah.
And then that final scene.
If you skip to the post credits right at the end, where she's doing her Doctor Strange astral projection learning stuff, and at the very end you hear her kids calling out to her from somewhere. So they do exist somewhere
in
and
another dimension or something.
And this is where we can theorize about what's happening, but lots of people are saying they're probably in hell, and this is where Mephisto can come through.
Mephisto, yes, my man. He's finally coming.
Which might lead directly into Multiverse of Madness.
Possibly, yes. We'll get to that post-credit scene in a second. So she says goodbye to her kids, and then she says goodbye to Vision as well. And they have a very emotional exchange. And
important part of this as well is she says that a part of the Mind Stone lives within her. That is what his representation is. Yeah. So I think there's definitely an opportunity in the future where they use the Vision's body, the White Vision's body, and then they re-put the part of her Mind Stone into that body, and it becomes actual Vision. Yeah.
Colourful Vision. The Mind Stone, where is it at the moment?
It's destroyed.
Yeah.
Thanos destroyed it.
In the garden.
Wait, let me go back to Endgame. I'm just thinking about this.
Thanos destroys it. Captain America goes back in time and puts all of them back in
and then
their
it's
place.
Destroyed again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's a loop.
Yes.
Yeah. So all the stones are destroyed.
All of them are destroyed, but part of the Mind Stone lives inside.
Wanda.
You can't actually destroy the stones. They just get put into an atomized level. So they still exist, but they're just like...
Part of the Mind Stone technically lives in Wanda.
Yeah.
Part of the Space Stone lives in
Carol.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. I guess part of that, if our theory is true about Monica, part of the Space Stone would live
Inside Monica as well, maybe. Yeah.
Which is why she could interact with that, will go into this realm.
Yes.
Because she has Infinity Stone.
She has Infinity. Yeah.
Okay, we can talk about the two mid-credits and post-credit scenes. So the first mid-credit scene is about Monica. Yeah. She gets called into the cinema for some reason.
She gets called to the cinema so the scroll can change it to her scroll form. Yeah.
That's the scroll from... Is that...
Oh, it's no particular scroll.
Is that his wife?
No, it's not. That's just a scroll. Generic scroll.
Scroll.
Yeah.
Okay. And
but it... Yeah, keep going. She says...
someone... He is calling you? Or she said...
Yeah, she said like a friend of mine is calling. A friend of your mother is so found out that you unlocked your powers. So
if you've been grounded.
You found out you've been grounded. That's the words you use. Yeah, she uses. Yep.
Yeah. And that's, I'm guessing that's Nick Fury.
Yeah. So this leads into one of two things. It's probably going to lead into, she's definitely confirmed to being Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah.
But it also could lead into Secret Invasion, which is a Nick Fury series with Ben Mendelsohn. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it could be that too.
So I think it leads into one of the, and I think who she's referring to sounds like it's Nick Fury.
Yeah. Because at the end of Far From Home, he is
with the scrolls
up in space. Yeah.
So probably expect to see Monica definitely in Captain Marvel 2, but maybe in Secret Invasion as well.
So that's that mid-credit scene, and then there's the post-credit scene, which we've briefly talked about. A couple of things I want to mention. So the astral plane thing,
and she's reading the Darkhold.
She's reading the Darkhold. When Doctor Strange does that, he's sleeping. I don't think he can be awake and do that, right?
Yeah. But she's powerful. Yeah. She's more powerful than Doctor Strange. So,
So basically she can, do both at the same time. Another thing is it's a weird reference to Thanos, like how she's sitting outside this house looking into the... and it's also a weird reference to Bruce Banner as well when he's at the end of Incredible Hulk.
I think there's just a lot of people sitting in huts in MCU. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, they're probably in hell. So in the comics, I think the children
they're hellspawn. Yeah. Right. So they're...
And she makes a deal with...
from Mephisto,
Mephisto and her. Yeah.
And she makes a deal with Mephisto to bring
so Mephisto's their dad and she's their mum. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Vision's also their stepdad.
So we'll see where that leads. So
I think the kids will definitely come back at some point. Probably in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
I think they're probably setting up for Young Avengers.
They are, and they've announced it.
Yeah.
So there's Haley Steinfeld and Jerry Seinfeld.
He's not that young, but all right.
In the Ant-Man,
Cassie
Lang, who they've recast as someone else. So obviously they want a better actor to... Yeah. Well, not that actor was bad, but they want a bigger actor to take over the role. And they've got the Ironheart series coming up, which is like a little kid Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then they got these two. And is there anything else? Miss Marvel, yes, and they have Miss Marvel. So that's like already 6 members.
And I guess Spider-Man?
Possible.
Yeah.
He's getting on the older side, but he could be part of it. Yeah.
That's everyone.
And there could be more. Like, who knows where Reed Richards is at this point? Maybe he has kids, and maybe they could bring those guys in.
So that's one possible thing. What we know that's coming after this is Doctor Strange. What is it? Madness in
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness. Captain Marvel 2 is an obvious link to this one. The Secret Invasion is also an obvious link.
And Spider-Man, the third one.
No Way
Home is rumored to be linked to this because they're bringing in characters from other universes. So kind of linked to Multiverse of Madness, which will be linked to this.
Yes.
I assume. Yeah.
So I think those are the 3 main connections. They already said that Scarlet Witch is in Doctor Strange. She might also be in Spider-Man. Spider-Man's coming out before that though. So I don't know.
Doctor Strange is in Spider-Man as well. So.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Doctor Strange is in it.
Yeah. There could be Spider-Man's coming before Doctor Strange. Yes. Yeah.
After the Eternals.
Yes.
After the
Yeah.
Eternals, yeah.
Yeah. So
someone was saying Vision might show up in Eternals somehow.
okay. Yeah. Maybe that's where White Vision went. I have a feeling we'll have White Vision for a while.
Yeah.
He'll be around for a bit, and then I know it'll be like an Endgame kind of revelation where other Vision
He
comes
dies
back.
again.
Yeah.
Instead of he dies again, he'll come back.
Okay.
Yeah. I know what use they would have for normal Vision over White Vision, because I'm sure White Vision can do everything that normal Vision can, but
Without personality.
without personality. Yeah.
Okay, upcoming MCU projects. So we've talked about some of them. Falcon and the Winter Soldier just in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. I think that will
I think that'll be a bit more generic and MCU-ish than
Yeah.
this.
probably.
But maybe they'll have bigger cameos that people expect.
Yeah.
Possible.
Mephisto won't be in it. I'm just saying that right now.
Your
Oh, I
secret
haven't
villain.
talked about my
Yes.
secret villain.
Okay, tell
My
us. Tell us.
My secret villain is the internet.
What the fuck?
Okay, tell us.
Yeah. Should I explain this further?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So the villain of this show, why people hate the show, is because there were so many bloody theories about stuff that was happening. This show had the most theories I've ever heard of in any show. And every week everyone was like, oh, it's Mephisto's this person, Mephisto's that person.
I was one of those people.
Yeah, Mephisto's not even bloody in the show. The creators never said anything about Mephisto being in the show. It's just the internet that kind of got on a roll, and they're like, oh, this, what engineer was it? The chemical engineer or something?
Astro.
Aerospace engineer is going to be Reed Richards. And then that was a disappointment.
Yeah.
And then Mephisto's going to be in the last episode, and that was a disappointment. And then, there's going to be a huge cameo in the last episode, and that was a disappointment.
Yeah.
So if there wasn't so much hype behind it, it's good that there's hype.
Yeah.
But if there wasn't so much theorizing and everything, everyone probably would have enjoyed the show more.
Yeah.
So that was the real villain of the show. The theories on the internet.
I was not expecting that. I
Yeah.
thought you'd
I've gone
say-
philosophical. Do you want me to talk about boats?
I thought you were going to say Kang or something. Okay,
No,
yeah.
no.
Kang
Kang's
is going to
yeah,
be.
Kang's
he's
going to be the
Quantumania.
Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kang
yeah.
is.
Oh,
gonna
he's
be-
who's playing him? I remember.
He's this guy from he's the guy from Watchmen, the TV series. Yeah. I don't know his name. Sorry. Yeah. But anyway, that's the secret villain of the show. That's the real villain of the show. The journey we went on the way.
Yes,
That's the villain.
that is-
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess we contribute to that because we live on the internet, technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay away from it, but sometimes I can't help myself. I need to
As in, we
theorize.
physically live on the internet because our podcast is on the internet.
Yeah,
And that's
yep.
how people hear us. So we are on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You theorize more than I do, I think. I try
It
and
used to be the other way around.
Yeah.
I feel like you used to do it more than me, but now
Yeah.
I do it more than you.
I try and kind of stay away from it and not put my own theories into it. Because you just always end up disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Harry Potter isn't in the next Spider-Man movie, I'm going to be pretty disappointed.
Well, it goes one of two ways. You either theorize something and it doesn't happen and then you're disappointed, or you theorize something and it does happen and you're kind of half disappointed because you theorized that it happened, so you knew it was coming, which is the Agatha Harkness.
disappointed
yeah.
either way, really.
You're disappointed either way. So you're better off just not theorizing, and then you get surprised a bit more.
Yeah.
Like that Red Skull
That was a
in
genuine
Endgame.
surprise. Yeah.
No one ever theorized that, and that was a genuine surprise, and that ended up being good
Infinity War, yeah.
in Infinity
Yeah.
War.
Was there any other genuine surprises in the MCU? Like you would actually like
Black
the,
Widow dying was a surprise
Yes,
to me.
yeah.
the J. Jonah Jameson at the end of Far From Home. That
Yep.
was a surprise.
And also the reveal that Spider-Man's Peter Parker to everyone.
Yes.
That was a surprise.
Apart from that, other things we mostly see coming in MCU. There's no genuine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do to really get
Yeah.
that.
To get a genuine surprise is quite hard. But if we theorize a bit less, maybe there will be. But here we go into more theories. Let's
Yes. Okay, so Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think will be okay. Like you said, it might be a bit more generic. There's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, so hour long ish.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think there might be.
Maybe it'll
similar
be
to this.
40 minutes long and 20 minutes of
Yeah,
credits.
Yeah, it might be similar to this. Black Widow is after that on 7th of May. That's
Hopefully.
when it's meant to be coming out. Loki, the show, is going to be shortly after that on June 11th. And then we've got Shang-Chi on July 9th, which is personally the one I'm most looking forward to this year. But we'll see what... I think you have some apprehensions about the generic Marvel origin story element of it.
Hopefully they can break the mold. We'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
Then there's What If. which is the animated What If series.
Last Chadwick Boseman thing.
It is. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's the last thing he's
going to be playing Star-Lord.
Then there is Eternals.
Oh, yeah.
November 5th, which is, I think
I'm gunning for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty amazing cast. I don't think people underestimate how good that cast is. It's got like all of the Game of Thrones guys.
Yeah.
It's got Angelina Jolie.
Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
Lauren Redloff and like Chloe Zhao.
What's that chick that was in Captain Marvel? She's in this one as well.
Gemma Chan, yeah.
Gemma Chan, she's in this. Yeah.
I was a little apprehensive when I heard that she was cast because Marvel's always kept an actor just playing one person, but then Minerva was an alien, like, you probably get away with it.
Yeah, she's in blue makeup. They'll put different makeup on her this time. You won't even be able to tell.
Michelle Yeoh and Shang-Chi, I hope she's a leader in this because I think...
Oh, yeah, that's the other... We were talking about that as well because she was another character.
Yeah. And she's very
They have done it before.
Although that's like very rare, like basically extras and all that.
I think it's more kind of TV show to movie, actually. Yeah. Because there's a character in Luke Cage that shows up in Civil War.
Civil War, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Luke but
Cage.
It's TV show to movie, isn't it? Yeah.
The Netflix shows, they don't really count anymore.
Yeah. They're not really counting.
I don't know. So. There probably is one out there. Someone let me know.
And Chloe Zhao, like you were saying, I think she recently won
She won the Golden Globe for Best Director.
Yeah.
Like when I learned that she was directing the Eternals, I didn't know who she was, so I was doing a lot of Googling and that.
Yeah.
Then I realized that she's making these movies, films. She's done a lot of American culture, so like Native Americans, bull riding and all that. Then
she's from China, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she makes Nomadland, and I actually went to go see it, and I enjoyed it. Thought this is a really good film. Thought she's going to make people care about the Eternals. So
we'll see where that goes. We'll see if it actually comes out this year as well. That's the other.
Have hope.
Only about a month after that, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No Way Home, and Hawkeye is also the same month, December.
Kamala Khan. Sorry, did we say Miss Marvel?
Miss Marvel,
next year, I think, or the year after.
They said this year. They said 2021, but we don't know when in 2021.
Yeah, it'll be after Hawkeye.
So Hawkeye's meant to be December. So I think it's either before that.
You sent me that list a while ago.
Yeah. I'm not sure how accurate that list is, but they had that in September. They had Miss Marvel in September on that list.
I haven't seen much. Oh, no, they are filming Miss Marvel. Maybe they could get it out in September.
That's all this year. So there's quite a bit happening this year. So after I finished watching the finale for WandaVision, I watched Civil War because Civil War has those moments with Wanda and Vision. And it's also got moments with Falcon and the Winter Soldier where they sort of hate each other. So I think it'll be a fun show.
It'll be a good buddy cop kind of show. They're going to be going around the world trying to stop this guy.
Go to Madripoor. There's like the mutant haven in Madripoor, so maybe there's
another link to maybe X-Men. Yeah.
I just hope they don't choke on that one.
It's got Kurt Russell's son in it.
Yes.
It'll be good. I think it'll be fun. It looks like it's comedy high. And those two riff off each other very well.
Yeah, they work very well together.
Yeah. I think they're friends in real life as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They always hate on Tom Holland.
Yeah, they do.
That?
Yeah. They always, bully Tom Holland.
They do.
Yeah.
Especially Mackie. I think Mackie does it more.
I think Mackie bullies everyone. Yeah. Apparently Mackie's a huge distraction.
Yeah.
Like he's just like terrible on set to work. Not like terrible to work with, but he's really hard to work with because he's always distracting everyone.
Maybe that's why they snapped him in his video. It's like, we can't have this guy in Endgame. In terms of what's next year, so what's been announced anyway, there's Doctor Strange, which we've talked about in March. There's Thor Love and Thunder in May.
Jack, I heard that. You read recently they want to bring back that theatre players from Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw the set pictures of it.
Then they got Melissa McCarthy. She's cameoing as actress playing Hela. I read somewhere they're actually going to get Melissa McCarthy to play herself in Thor to play Hela.
Oh, okay.
I said to myself, oh shit, that would just be funny.
So she's playing herself.
Yeah, because they're on Earth now, so can we get real actresses in it?
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That'll be pretty funny.
But they still got Sam Neill and Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Yeah.
And the forgotten Hemsworth brothers, so
Oh, the Hemsworth brothers Thor, isn't he? Yeah.
Wonder if they get a Thanos. That's interesting. They're filming that at the moment.
They are.
Yeah,
It's like,
they're filming that at the moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy's she's filming something else, but she's been living in Byron Bay, so I think easy
With
cameo.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. It's like basically they can't do as many cameos as they like because COVID's slowing down everyone's, unless they just blue screen them.
I was watching Homecoming the other week, and that's basically what they do with Robert Downey Jr. in that movie.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of scenes where Tom Holland is speaking to Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
But you only see Tom Holland's face, and you only see Robert Downey Jr.'s face. You never see them in the same frame. So I'm pretty sure that's what they did, because Robert Downey Jr. probably just came in for a day and he's like, I'm shooting all my scenes in one day. Black Panther 2 is also meant to be next year.
They're going to film part of it here.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got control of the COVID. They're filming
So in Australia.
and they're reworking that to be around Shuri, probably. So,
And Captain Marvel 2 is next year. So November next year. So that's the full lineup at the moment. There's all these other stuff that they've announced, but they don't have dates for. So
She-Hulk and Moon Knight.
She-Hulk, Moon Knight, The Secret Invasion, Ironheart,
Blade,
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Ant-Man.
Yeah, Ant-Man, they haven't announced a date, but they've
Yeah.
announced the title. A lot coming up. All right. Anything we want to say apart from on WandaVision or Marvel or anything else? Cool.
Yeah.
That's all we had to say. Obviously, we all recommend you watch WandaVision.
Yeah.
It's one of probably the best shows so far this year. Surely.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything else
Yeah.
that competes. Yeah.
I enjoy it,
Yeah.
but we love Marvel. If
Yeah.
you don't love Marvel, you
It's
might
syndrome.
not like it.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd enjoy it if you don't like Marvel.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be the one that
Pushes you.
Brings
pushes
it.
you over the brink.
I think the general audience might actually enjoy Winter Soldier, Falcon Winter
Yeah.
Soldier.
But you should definitely watch it if you like Marvel
Definitely.
and you want to keep on track of everything. Kind of need to watch this.
So thanks, Brian, for joining us. This was good. This was much longer than our previous episode, but we had a lot more to talk about.
I had time, so yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for being late, but yeah.
No worries. Thanks for coming. All the best with your new job and
Thank you.
also your writing. And we'll get you back on if you're ever back in Melbourne at some stage. Eternals?
I would love to do
Any
Eternals.
chance?
That's the one I'm really gunning for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I should be back by then. So
Okay.
seasonal
Let
job.
us know. Let us know. We can do, if it comes out in November, we can do Eternals.
Whenever it comes out.
Yeah. I think that's all we had. So if people want to get in touch with us and talk to us about Marvel or WandaVision, how do they go about it?
So we're on cognitive recalibration on all platforms, and at Gmail, we're at cognitive recalibration podcast at gmail.com. Took me a while to kind of figure out.
We do this like every week, but you
Yeah.
still forget it.
I'm so out of it today. Too much Marvel talk.
And if you want to support the podcast, firstly, if you could give us a positive review on iTunes or Spotify. I searched the number of people that do MCU related podcasts, and there is a lot.
Okay.
There's so many. So what makes us more discoverable is if we have better reviews and higher reviews.
Yeah,
So,
reviews work. So
Yeah.
yeah, with the books as well. So.
yeah. So yeah,
Even bad reviews, they can still get
exactly.
visibility.
Yeah, just reviews. So if,
Please give us bad reviews.
so if you could give us a review, that would be great. If you want to further support the podcast, we have Amazon affiliate link, which I'll link Brian's novels below, and also any MCU related stuff I'll link below as well. And apart from that, if you want to just give us a one-off donation or a continual donation, we have a Buy Me a Coffee link below where you can sponsor us, and we'll use any proceeds from that to further
Buy
develop the
coffee.
podcast. Cool. Yeah, it's called Buy Me a Coffee. It's like
Something it's innocent. It's innocent.
for the cost of a coffee, you can sort of sponsor us. Hope you enjoyed our talk about. It's been ages since we talked about Marvel, so it was good to do that. We started this podcast basically to talk
For Marvel.
Marvel. We started with Infinity War, and we've done all the Marvel stuff since then. So
Now we
thanks.
can talk about Marvel every week forever.
Pretty much like
The
this.
blade is
year's-
going well. They've played it well.
Yeah, this year it's going to be pretty Marvel full. Next week we'll be talking about the Disney film Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
calling it wrong the whole time. We were calling it Raya, I think. It's Raya.
I've never said the name before in my life, so don't put this on me. It's all you.
So we'll be that is also out on Disney Plus actually, but for an additional cost.
Never.
So so you can either watch it in cinema,
Yeah.
so it's out in cinema, which we'll probably go watch it in cinema, and we'll be talking about that next week, and then we've got other stuff. We've got all the Marvel stuff coming up, and Godzilla versus Kong
Kong.
versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
Godzilla vs Kong. That's later this month as well.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for more episodes. But for now, thanks for joining us. Hope you're all staying safe, and we'll see you.